My husband came home one night and said, "I need to focus on myself for a while." He didn't mention he was focusing on another woman from his office. When I showed him the photos I'd been sent, he said, "They mean nothing." Months later, he learned what it meant to lose everything over nothing. I'm 42. I've been married to Mike for 18 years. We have 2 kids, 14 and 11. We live just outside Denver. Suburban life. Soccer games. Dinner at 6. Stability. I thought. Mike worked for a tech firm downtown. I run a small bookstore. Our lives were routine, normal, maybe even boring sometimes. But I liked it that way. I thought we were solid. I truly believed we were in it for the long haul. Turns out, I was wrong. Things started changing about a year ago. Mike started coming home later. At first, it was small stuff, I'm grabbing a drink with coworkers, or we've got a client deadline. I didn't question it. I mean, he's always been a hard worker, and tech jobs are demanding. But it started happening more and more. Late nights. Weekend strategy meetings. Less talking. Less laughing. Less of everything. He was on his phone a lot more. Never left it face up. Started showering as soon as he came home, which was new. He used to come in, kiss me on the cheek, pour a glass of wine, ask about the kids. That all faded out. I brought it up gently, more than once. You seem distracted. Is everything okay? I wasn't trying to start anything, I just wanted to know what was happening. He always brushed me off. Just tired, he'd say. Work's insane right now. Then one night, he came home later than usual. He didn't even take his shoes off. He walked into the kitchen, stood by the counter like he was about to deliver some company news. And he said it. I need to focus on myself for a while. Just like that. I remember staring at him. What does that mean? He said he felt like he'd lost himself. Said he needed time and space to figure things out. Said he didn't want to resent me or the kids down the line. That he just wanted to feel something again. I didn't cry. Not right away. I nodded, like a robot. Do you want a separation? He hesitated. Not necessarily. I just need time. I didn't sleep that night. I laid awake trying to understand how the man I built a life with could stand in front of me and talk like I was a roommate he barely knew. We lived in the same house, but everything was different after that. He stayed in the guest room. He still helped with the kids. Still went to work. Still acted like he was working on himself. I stopped believing him when he started taking weekend hikes alone. Mike hates hiking. A few weeks later, while I was at the bookstore, I got a message from a random number. No words. Just photos. There were 5 pictures. The first one was blurry, looked like a restaurant, maybe an outdoor patio. Mike was sitting next to a woman, laughing. Not a friend laugh. Not a coworker laugh. A "you're the only person in the world" kind of laugh. I couldn't breathe. The message had no name. Just, "You deserve to know." I locked the door to the back room and sat on the floor. My hands were shaking so hard I couldn't type. I just stared at those pictures for 10 minutes before calling my best friend. When I finally got home, he was on the couch, watching TV like nothing happened. I didn't wait. I dropped my phone in front of him. Explain this. He picked it up. Swiped through the pictures. Didn't say a word. I said, "Who is she?" He paused. Her name is Jessica. She's on my team at work. How long? Since February. It was October. He said it like he was telling me the weather forecast. Calm. Detached. Like cheating on your wife of 18 years was a scheduling conflict. I lost it. You told me you needed space. You told me you needed to work on yourself. You didn't say you were screwing a coworker in a hotel room. He tried to talk over me. It wasn't serious. I cut him off. Don't you dare tell me it wasn't serious. You don't get half naked in a hotel room with someone who doesn't mean anything to you. You don't lie to your wife and kids and break up a family over nothing. He put his head in his hands. I messed up. I know. I didn't want to hurt you, then why did you? He had no answer. He said all the usual things. That it didn't mean anything. That it was a mistake. That he wanted to fix our marriage. That he would cut her off. Go to counseling. Do whatever it took. I just stood there. I said, go pack a bag. He begged me not to make any decisions yet. But I couldn't look at him. I didn't sleep again that night. Or the next. I kept replaying everything in my head. The lies. The sneaking around. The conversations where I knew something was wrong, but he made me feel crazy for asking. Over the next few days, he moved in with a friend. I told the kids he was staying somewhere else for a while. I didn't want to dump everything on them all at once. But they knew. Kids always know when something's wrong. A week later, I found out through a mutual acquaintance that the woman, Jessica, wasn't just some fling. They were going on work trips together. Eating lunch together every day. She had even been to his office Christmas party last year. I hadn't gone that year because Jake had the flu. She was already around then. And I didn't see it. That realization broke me all over again. Then came the worst part, people started talking. Mike's coworkers. Our neighbors. Even other parents at school started whispering. I kept my head down. Focused on the kids. Tried to keep the bookstore running. I haven't told the full story yet. There's more. A lot more. But I need to take a break before I can keep going. This isn't the end. He hasn't learned the full weight of what he's done. But he will. The day after I found out about Jessica being more than just a fling, something snapped in me. Not in a screaming, throwing things kind of way. Just a quiet, deadly kind of snap. I stopped crying. I stopped waiting for apologies. I stopped feeling sorry for myself. I started watching. I wanted to know what he was hiding. How deep it went. I still didn't know who sent me those photos. But if someone out there wanted me to know the truth, I figured there had to be more. I started digging. First thing I did was check our joint bank account. He hadn't removed me yet. I noticed charges that made no sense, 2 hotel stays in Vail, both over weekends he'd told me he was recharging in nature. Dozens of Uber rides downtown, late at night. Fancy restaurants we never went to together. Spa charges. That stung. I was clipping coupons and planning crockpot dinners while he was getting couples massages on the company card. Then I found something worse. There was a single transfer, $2,000 sent from our savings to an unknown name. I looked up the name. It was an apartment rental agency in Aurora. He was paying for Jessica's apartment. While living in my house. With our kids. Using our money. I called him. No greeting. I just said, you've got 24 hours to move the rest of your stuff out. And don't even think about touching the joint account again. Silence. Then he said, Sarah, let me explain. I hung up. That night, I took screenshots of everything. Every receipt, every transfer. Sent it all to my lawyer. I wasn't playing anymore. A week later, he tried to come by the house while I was at work. My neighbor, Donna, saw him and texted me. He's trying to get in. Do you want me to call the cops? I said, yes. He left before they arrived, but that was it. I changed the locks. Told the kids if he tried to come in, they were to call me immediately and lock the door. I thought that would be the worst of it. I thought I could go back to just trying to rebuild. I was wrong. A few nights later, I got a message from an unknown Instagram account. It was a fake profile, no posts, no followers. The message said, "Careful who you trust. He's not the only one who's been lying." Then a screenshot. It was my friend Jenna. My coworker. The one who'd comforted me when I got the photos. Text messages between her and Mike. Her telling him I was falling apart. Her defending him. Saying I was being too emotional and maybe he was better off. I stared at that screen for 10 full minutes. I confronted her the next morning at the store. She didn't deny it. Said she was just trying to keep the peace. Said Mike came to her for support and she didn't want to get involved. "You got involved the second you gave him information about me," I said. She cried. Said she didn't mean to hurt me. I told her to pack her things. She was gone within the hour. I felt like I was walking through a minefield. Every day uncovered something new. Some new lie. Some new betrayal. Then came the court order. Mike was trying to get joint custody. This man, who had lied, cheated, emotionally abandoned his family, and he wanted the kids half the time. I couldn't believe it. I sat in my lawyer's office shaking. "He's doing this to punish me," I said. My lawyer nodded. "It's a tactic. If he gets joint custody, he might try to get out of child support. He's trying to play smart." I laughed. It wasn't funny, but it was all I could do. Smart? He blew up his family over an office affair and thinks he's gonna outplay me in court. She patted my hand. "Let's make sure he doesn't." Then something unexpected happened. Jessica emailed me. Her subject line was, "I'm sorry." I almost deleted it. But curiosity got the better of me. It was a long message. Said she didn't know Mike was still living with me. Said he told her we were separated but figuring it out. Claimed she thought I knew about them. She said she found out the truth when she met his friend at a company happy hour, and the friend slipped up. Told her Mike was still married and sleeping in our house. She was pissed. She said she broke things off with him. Said she was sorry I got dragged into it. Said I deserved better. Then at the end, she wrote, "If you need anything for court, I'll tell the truth. I don't owe him anything." I stared at that message for a long time. I still haven't responded. I'm not sure what comes next. There's still so much to deal with. The court stuff. The kids. The bookstore. The broken friendships. The betrayal. I used to think I was weak for not leaving sooner. Now I realize I was strong for surviving every single day he tried to break me without lifting a hand. He wanted to focus on himself. He did. And in the process, he set fire to everything good in his life. The smoke is still clearing. But I'm still standing. After the email from Jessica, I thought the worst was behind me. I was wrong. Again. A few weeks passed. Things were quiet. Too quiet, honestly. Mike had moved into a rental with one of his buddies from work. The kids visited him on weekends, but I could tell they hated it. Jake barely spoke on Sundays when he got back. Lily would crawl into bed with me at night like she did when she was 5, quiet but clingy. I didn't push. I just held her. Then one Friday, Lily came home with something in her backpack that made my stomach flip. A notebook. Covered in purple glitter stickers, her handwriting all over it. I didn't mean to open it, but when I saw my name on the top of the page, I froze. It read, "Dad told me not to tell Mom about the sleepover at Jessica's." My chest tightened. I kept reading. He said it's okay because Jessica is just a friend. But they hugged a lot and kissed in the kitchen. Jake said we shouldn't talk about it at home. I sat on the floor and cried. Not because of Mike, I'd already spent enough tears on that man. But because my kids were in the middle of a game they didn't ask to play. I called my lawyer first. Then I called Mike. "You brought the kids to her place?" Long pause. Sarah, it wasn't, you told them not to tell me. Do you know what that's called? It's called parental alienation. You put them in the middle of your mess. She's not involved anymore, I swear. It was a one-time thing, I didn't let him finish. That notebook is going to the judge. Mike's reaction was fast and panicked. He tried calling me 5 times that night. Then he showed up at my house the next day. I didn't answer the door. I watched him from the window. He stood there for 10 minutes, then left. Later that week, he tried again, this time through mutual friends. Said he wanted to talk. That he made a mistake. That he missed the life we had. Life we had? The one he destroyed? Then came the twist I never saw coming. Jenna, the coworker I fired for secretly siding with him, sent me a text out of nowhere. You should know. Mike's being investigated at work. HR got an anonymous tip about inappropriate conduct with a subordinate. They're talking about firing him. I stared at the screen, not sure how to feel. Minutes later, I got another message. This time from Jessica. I told them everything. I'm done protecting him. So now Mike was not just losing his marriage, his kids, and his house, but maybe his job too. The same job he threw our family away for. Karma, I guess. Except he didn't take it well. That night, I got an email from his lawyer. He was now fighting for full custody. Said I was emotionally unstable and manipulating the children. I lost it. My lawyer told me not to respond directly. We'll handle it in court, she said. This is a desperation move. But then the next morning, something strange happened. A black SUV was parked across from my house. Same one showed up the next day. And the next. Always around the same time. Never anyone getting out. Just parked. Watching. I mentioned it to Donna, my neighbor. Oh honey, she said. That's Mike's friend Darren. I saw him at your house before. I realized then, Mike was trying to intimidate me. Or spy on me. Or both. I started documenting everything. Dates. Times. Photos. I installed security cameras. Told the kids not to talk to anyone near the house. I filed a police report for stalking, just to have it on record. Then one night, just after I put Lily to bed, I got another anonymous message. No words. Just a video. It was from a parking garage. Blurry, shaky, but clear enough. It was Mike. Yelling at someone. Slamming his hand against a car window. The car door opened. Jessica stepped out. He grabbed her arm. She pulled away. Started screaming. The video ended there. My stomach dropped. She wasn't done protecting him. She was scared of him now. I saved the video. Sent it to my lawyer. Then I called Jessica. I need to ask you something, I said. She sounded exhausted. What? Do you need help? There was a long silence. Then she said, quietly, yes. The court date arrived. It had been 8 months since Mike stood in our kitchen and told me he needed space. 8 months since I discovered Jessica. 8 months of betrayal unfolding like slow poison. And now, we were here, dividing our lives in front of strangers in a Denver courtroom. He showed up wearing a suit I bought him 2 Christmases ago. Jessica didn't come in with him. She was sitting on a bench outside, alone, flipping through a file. My lawyer whispered, she's our key witness. If she speaks, he's done. The courtroom was cold. The kind of cold that seeps into your spine and makes your hands sweat even when you're sitting still. Mike's lawyer started first, painting me as emotional, erratic, a woman who reacted harshly out of heartbreak. He said I was turning the kids against their father. That I weaponized motherhood. He even tried to say I was mentally unwell because I took anxiety meds. Then my lawyer stood. She laid it all out. Every receipt. Every text. Every instance of infidelity. She handed over the notebook Lily wrote in. She brought out the screenshots of Jenna and Mike whispering behind my back. She even showed the surveillance photos of Darren's SUV. Then she called Jessica to the stand. That was the moment. Jessica stood in front of a full courtroom, judge, clerks, lawyers, 2 rows of strangers, and cleared her throat. I was in a relationship with Michael, she said. It started while he was still living with his wife and children. He told me they were separating but still living together to make it easier on the kids. I found out later that wasn't true. She glanced at me. I didn't mean to hurt Sarah. I truly didn't. I ended things the moment I realized how deep the lies went. But I'm here to say this, Michael tried to manipulate both of us. He pressured me into keeping secrets. He tried to involve the children when I begged him not to. And when I broke things off, he got angry. Too angry. She paused. He showed up at my apartment 2 weeks ago. Screamed at me in the parking garage. Tried to grab me. There's video evidence. Gasps from the back of the room. Mike's mother was there. Her face fell. Mike's lawyer tried to object. The judge silenced him. Then Mike stood up. Can I say something? The judge allowed it. He didn't look at me. Not once. Everything got away from me, he said. I didn't plan to cheat. I didn't mean for any of this to happen. I just felt stuck. And when Jessica came along, it felt like a second chance. He turned to the judge. But I do love my kids. And I want to be part of their lives. He sat down. His voice cracked at the end, but I couldn't tell if it was guilt or performance. The judge took a recess. Everyone stood, shuffled, whispered. Donna, my neighbor, was there for moral support. She leaned over and said, "He's unraveling. You can see it." When we reconvened, the judge ruled. I'd keep primary custody. Mike would get visitation, but supervised for 3 months. The financials were in my favor. He'd been ordered to pay child support, no escape. It was done. Outside the courtroom, the storm finally broke. Mike followed me out into the hallway, yelling after me. "You're ruining everything. You turned everyone against me." I spun around. "You did that all on your own. Don't blame me for the mess you made." Jessica tried to calm him down, but he shoved her hand away. "This is all your fault too. People were watching. Strangers. Security." His own lawyer was mortified. I looked him dead in the eye. "You lost your family over a lie you couldn't stop telling. You thought you were too smart to get caught. Too charming to face consequences. And now, this is what's left." He stared at me, breathing heavy. "I hope she was worth it," I said. "I hope all of it was worth it." He said nothing. He turned and walked out. Jessica followed him, but not before giving me one last look. Maybe regret. Maybe pity. I didn't care anymore. The weeks after were strange. Quiet. The kids settled into the new routine. Therapy helped. They asked fewer questions. Smiled more. Lily started drawing again. Jake started playing guitar. The bookstore became my sanctuary. I added a little coffee corner, started a weekly book club. People came. Word got around. Business picked up. Jenna tried to reach out. I ignored her. Mike tried to talk again. I told him to go through the court. One night, Donna and I sat on the porch. She sipped wine. I stared at the stars. "You okay now?" she asked. I didn't answer right away. "No," I said finally. "But I'm not broken anymore. I learned people are not always who you think they are. Love doesn't guarantee loyalty. And sometimes the person you trust most is the one who cuts deepest." But I also learned I can survive. That I can fight, protect, rebuild. That I am not just a wife or a mother or a woman scorned. I'm all of those things. And I'm still standing. I don't know what's next. I'm not naive enough to believe everything's perfect now. But I do know this, I don't need someone who doesn't know how to hold on to what matters. He chose nothing. I chose me.